Welcome to Nass Corporation. Since our inception in 1963, we have become a leading and integrated construction solutions provider, with operations in the Kingdom of Bahrain, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Comprising of 6 divisions and 6 subsidiaries, we are specialists in construction. Today, with the best of construction solutions all under one roof, Nass Corporation is a major regional player in the delivery of innovative turnkey installations.
اليوم احنا طبعا شركة ناس من مؤسسين جمعية الصحة والسلامة في البحرين، اللي صار لها دور قوي في إرساء ووضع قوانين تحمي العامل على مواقع العمل وفي جميع المجالات. واحنا اليوم وصلنا إلى مستويات الشركات والكلاينت يستخدمون الستاندرد اللي عندنا في تطبيق الصحة والسلامة على مواقع العمل.
Nass Corporation's approach to health and safety is simple. Health and safety always comes first. But being safe at work is a team effort. We all have a responsibility and role to play in providing a safe environment by making the right decisions and taking the appropriate actions in order to protect ourselves, our colleagues, and others. This video is an introduction to health and safety in the workplace. It's important that you watch the whole video so that you will know how to work in a healthy and safe way, know what dangers to look out for, and what the necessary precautions are, so that you and your fellow workers remain healthy and safe. Don't learn about health and safety by accident. For more detailed information, please contact the HSE department or your supervisor. Our duty of care for health, safety and environment is a core value in Nass Corporation. Our goal is to deliver our business with 0 injuries to our people and to minimize the environmental impact of our activities. That's why not only do we comply with all the requirements of the laws in the countries where we operate, we aim to exceed them wherever possible, as required by our ISO accredited management systems. For our management systems to be effective, we hold regular HSE committee meetings between management and project staff, who have the responsibility for HSE within their project or site. Their role is to ensure that we meet the legal obligations in that country for each project, and maintain communications on changes that may affect HSE in the workplace. The role of our health and safety practitioners or HSE officers is to minimize the risk of harm or injury at work. This involves advising managers on how to comply with health and safety laws, carrying out site visits and safety audits to identify potential hazards, investigating accidents and finding ways to prevent them happening again, and designing and delivering training courses on health and safety issues. A risk assessment is not only an important step in ensuring a safe and healthy work environment, it's a legal requirement. Remember, a good risk assessment will help prevent accidents and ill health to you and your colleagues. Employers and employees have several rights and obligations in the workplace. Workplace rights protect employees from potentially harmful events, such as unsafe working conditions or discrimination. But with these rights comes obligations. You must behave ethically and responsibly, and take reasonable care of your own health and safety, and for the health and safety of others while at work. Company property is provided for business use and should not be routinely used for non-business reasons. Intellectual property such as trade secrets and copyrights or business plans and manufacturing ideas should be protected. Any suspected incident of unauthorized use, fraud or theft should be immediately reported for investigation. Every employee is expected to lead by example, by behaving in an acceptable way and treating your colleagues with dignity and respect. That means not shouting or getting angry, always communicating in a polite manner, so not being rude or abrasive, encouraging and helping to each other, and not judging people because they have a different viewpoint or physical ability. As part of our commitment for continual improvement, all projects, sites and offices have an employee suggestion scheme. This is your opportunity to have your say about anything from a health and safety matter to a suggestion about how to improve business growth. Everyone working at Nass Corporation will be provided with medical insurance as per the requirements of the country of operation. Workers who are exposed to occupational hazards will undergo regular medical examination, paid for by the company. And any workers undergoing medical treatment because of occupational illness or injuries will receive their salaries in accordance with the law. All residents must keep their room and all facilities clean and tidy. Smoking and drinking alcohol is strictly prohibited inside any building. And incense burning in rooms is not allowed. Lights, fans and air conditioning should be turned off when not in use. All taps and showers should also be turned off after use. Guests are allowed to visit but are not allowed to stay overnight. For a full list of accommodation rules and regulations, please ask your camp boss. At Nass Corporation, we are committed to the training and development of all employees to help them improve their knowledge and skills, reduce risks, and make workplaces healthier and safer for everyone. Good housekeeping and site tidiness helps control or eliminate workplace hazards. It includes keeping work areas neat and orderly, tools being stored correctly, and the removal of waste materials and other fire hazards from work areas. It also requires paying attention to important details, such as signs to enable emergency services to get to their correct destination with the minimum of delay. As an employee of the corporation, we expect you to present a clean and professional appearance when you represent us. The current company dress code is unique for each division, but all staff are requested to wear their uniforms provided by their company and not to alter any of the clothing. Reporting accidents and incidents helps to put measures and precautions in place to prevent a similar incident from happening again, and could even save a life. All accidents and incidents must be reported, no matter how small. A near miss is an unplanned event that did not result in injury, illness, or damage, but had the potential to do so. For every reported major injury, there are several minor accidents and 300 near misses. That's why it's so important to report near misses, because when the potential causes of accidents are eliminated, the possibility of major injuries diminishes. All work equipment has the potential to cause problems in the workplace, so you must ensure that it remains safe to use and that you're not putting anyone at risk of harm or injury. If you believe that any workplace equipment is unsafe or you are unsure, you must report it immediately. If you see something that looks dangerous or someone behaving in a way that you think isn't safe, don't walk by. You must report it. Don't assume that someone else already has and therefore you don't need to. It's better that it gets reported 10 times than it doesn't get reported at all. Remember, look after yourself. Look after each other. Your health and safety at work is the most important thing to us. But health and safety doesn't just apply to the workplace. It starts at home. Whether you work in an office, a plant, or on site, it's really important that you are rested, have eaten something before you leave home, are well hydrated, and are alert and ready for the day ahead. If you commute to work by car, only travel in vehicles that are licensed and well-maintained. Always wear a seatbelt. And don't use your cell phone while driving. Use a hands-free kit or pull over somewhere safe to take a call. The use of drugs and alcohol can be a serious workplace issue. Not only can their use lead to significant health problems, but anyone under the influence of drugs or alcohol can be a hazard to themselves and others. We will remove any employee from the workplace if they are under the influence, are tested positive, or refuse to be tested. If you think any prescribed or over-the-counter medication could compromise your fitness to work, please inform your supervisor or line manager so that suitable adjustments can be made to your duties. PPE is equipment that will protect you against health or safety risks at work. It can include items such as safety helmets and hard hats, gloves, eye and ear protection, high visibility clothing, safety footwear and safety harnesses. Make sure you are issued with the correct PPE for your task. Inspect PPE regularly and report any damaged ones for replacement. It is your responsibility to ensure that you are clean and presentable when you arrive for work. You are also responsible to keep your workstation or work areas tidy and free of clutter. Please respect your colleagues by keeping restrooms and kitchen areas clean. Hand washing and the use of hand sanitizers is also very important as a protection against the spread of illnesses. There are some essential safety rules that all employees need to follow before and during any task or activity. you must be trained and competent in the work you conduct. Prior to all kinds of work, a risk assessment, as well as a safety discussion appropriate to the risk level, must be conducted. All changes must be approved and managed. This means stopping the job and re-evaluating the risk assessment and precautions taken. No high-risk workers should be working alone while performing hazardous tasks. Always wear correct personal protective equipment when undertaking any work activities. Everyone must intervene when they believe their safety or the safety of others is being compromised. Another important aspect of working safely is managing work-related stress. Stress can affect your concentration, production, and lead to risky behavior. If you feel stressed at work or home and you're struggling to cope with it, speak to your line manager or HR, or see a doctor. If you work in an office, it's likely that you will spend much of your time at your computer. If so, please ensure that you sit upright and that your back is supported, that your computer is at the correct height and distance, and that you get up and stretch at least once an hour. If you are lifting or carrying something, assess the load's weight first to make sure it's not too heavy. Keep your back straight and bend your knees. Then lift and stand up, keeping your feet a shoulder width apart. Access and egress refer to the rate or means of entry and exit to a workplace or work area. Routes that provide access and egress should be controlled, safe, kept free of obstructions, and well maintained. Most importantly, make sure that you are familiar with the egress route from your work area or site, so that you can quickly and safely exit the workplace in the event of an emergency. There are many different types of mobile equipment on site, such as forklifts, cranes, and trucks. Only operate mobile equipment if you are trained and authorized, and regularly check and inspect the equipment for signs of damage. If you're moving around a site, use the safety paths and crossings. Never enter a restricted area without permission, and always follow the instructions of plant and vehicle marshals around moving equipment. If you're operating a forklift, check the area behind you for people and obstructions. It's important that everyone follows traffic rules on site to prevent accidents and collisions. You must always wear your seatbelt while driving, and make sure your passengers do the same. Always adhere to the speed limit and adjust your speed according to the weather conditions. Never overload your vehicle if you're transporting materials or equipment. And as a passenger, speak up if you think the driver is doing anything you consider unsafe. Every year, there are a number of accidents from using work equipment, including machinery. Many are serious and some are fatal. Before using any equipment, machinery, or tool, make sure it's in good working condition. Only use any equipment or tool if you have the correct qualifications or training. Before starting a job, ask yourself if it's the right equipment for the job. Never make do. And always wear the correct PPE for the task. If you're using power tools, make sure they are switched off before connecting them to a power source. Always keep a firm grip on the tool and stay focused on what you're doing. In addition to the information in this video, every supervisor has their own HSE booklet that goes into more details about health and safety relevant to your industry. Please contact your supervisor if you would like more information. Health and safety is a team effort because you have to be able to rely on your colleagues and they have to be able to rely on you. If everyone puts health and safety first, we will go a long way to achieving our goal of zero harm at work. Before you work at height, make sure you are fit for work, trained and authorized. Ensure a risk assessment is undertaken and approved, and that there is a suitable exclusion zone below the work area. Always wear the correct PPE, such as a safety harness. Use proper access points. Don't climb up the sides of scaffolding or mobile towers. Make sure toe boards and barriers are in place. Don't overreach. And remember, if you see any unsafe scaffolding, report it. Preventing objects falling or rolling is critical to worksite safety. Ensure loads are securely fastened when carrying out lifting operations, and objects are safely stacked and secured. When working at height, attach hand tools to a lanyard and use a tackle or a rubbish chute to lower materials. Lifting operations should only be carried out by trained and certified personnel. Before lifting anything, check that the gear is in good condition. A risk assessment has been completed and that the lifting operations are compliant with the lifting plan. Ensure that loads are securely fastened and the load does not exceed the weight limit of the crane. An exclusion zone should be set up around the lifting area. Never enter the exclusion zone while lifting operations are in progress. And never walk under a suspended load. Lockout and isolation is used to prevent the release of hazardous energies and chemicals when carrying out maintenance work on site. It should only be carried out by trained and authorized personnel, using the correct tools and PPE. Follow the correct lockout-tagout procedures when working on energized equipment. Use your personal and color-coded locks to prevent accidental startup. Never tamper with locked-out machinery or someone else's lock, and never make duplicate keys or use combination locks. When using any machinery or equipment, you must be trained and authorized to use it. Never operate it without first checking that it has been well maintained and all the required guards are in place to ensure your safety as well as that of others. Hazardous materials are substances such as gases, liquids or solids that can cause injuries, poisoning, or death if they come into contact with your skin, eyes, or respiratory system. Always wear the correct PPE. Chemical containers should be filled in well-ventilated areas or in the open air. Always follow the specified storage conditions for any material. For instance, gas cylinders should be chained to a wall and stored in a cool area. If there is an H2S leak, move in a crosswind direction away from the leak and then upwind to the assembly point when you evacuate. Before entering confined spaces, always wear the correct PPE, as laid out in the permit to work. Make sure there are barriers and signs by any entrances. Isolate and lock out all services affecting the area. And perform H2S gas tests before and while working. You should use the buddy system with a standby person. And before starting work, you should have an emergency plan and know how to follow it. If you have to work over water or in the vicinity of water, there must be a safe system of work in place, and barriers and signs to stop people falling into the water or other liquid. Always wear the correct PPE for the job, and make sure that you have the correct information and training necessary to use any equipment and respond effectively in an emergency. When temporary works are required, a full risk assessment must be carried out as to the preferred method of construction, the choice of materials or systems, plant and labor, and any access problems which may exist. All communication must be channeled through the Temporary Works Coordinator, who is authorized to apply and progress the requirements of the brief and the program. All information must be incorporated into the temporary works plan. And all temporary work schemes must be documented in the Temporary Works Register. We have the utmost duty to ensure members of the public are not affected by a health or physical risk from any of our activities. All sites should have a comprehensive risk assessment detailing suitable control measures to protect the public. Physical barriers should be used to segregate the works from the public. The effects of dust, noise, and vibration should be kept to a minimum. All visitors to the site should be signed in and accompanied by an authorized person. And any incidents involving members of the public should be reported immediately. All Nass workplaces have procedures in place for all health, safety, and environmental emergencies to ensure prompt and safe action is taken. Quick and effective action may help to ease the situation and reduce the consequences. Wherever you work, it's important to understand the fire safety plan, such as escape routes and how to raise the alarm. Always comply with fire and emergency evacuation drills. Report any failings on the fire alarm system or firefighting equipment. And never block escape routes. Only smoke in designated areas. Whether you are in an office environment, manufacturing facility, warehouse, or site, an emergency plan must be established and communicated. All emergency response team members must familiarize themselves with the location of the first aid equipment, firefighting equipment, exits, and muster points. First aiders and fire wardens should be identified, and rescue drills should be conducted regularly. You will now be taken to the next step of the induction process, where you will learn about your site-specific HSE instructions, including emergency arrangements, welfare facilities, key members of the team including your HSE representatives, site-specific rules and arrangements, and high risks associated with the specific site, project, or facility where you will be required to work, and emergency response details and contacts for your site. We hope that you've found this induction useful. Please remember to stop, think, and act in the interest of health and safety.